Hello guys and welcome back here in the studio. Today we have a microphone here that does one thing completely different than all the other microphones I know. But instead of just talking about it, let's just listen first. Can you hear what I mean?
And we stayed in the moonlight, counting down the times till the sunlight shines. And we watch the stars for a twilight. May your mistakes right, got electrified.
What do you guys think just happened here? Did I switch the microphone? Did I turn on some crazy EQ plugin? Not at all. The secret is actually right here in my hand. This is the brand new AIM Audio Essence, which is hand-built in Berlin, and right here we have a switch. And this switch does something very unique. We have the option to choose between a classic transformer sound and a clean FET circuit, and both are built in. But what does it actually mean? I mean, transformer, FET, things that you don't really hear all the time. Usually, a studio microphone has one specific sound. If it has a transformer, it gives you a warm, thick and classic vibe. If it has an electronic circuit, it sounds super fast, clean and punchy. Normally, you have to buy two separate microphones to get both of these sounds, but here, they actually put two completely different output circuits inside this one microphone. They actually developed this whole thing for nearly 4 years. You just push a button, and instead of changing the whole microphone, this microphone just changed itself. So, let's get right into it. To really show you what the switch does, we want to check this microphone on vocals first. Let's just see it in action and hear the difference between the two circuits. So, let's see how this sounds.
Years ago when our story began, we were laughing at our catching lights. Now it all changed and I just wonder why. We're trapped in the dark and started high. Was it me or was it you who stopped believing in the truth? And we stayed in the moonlight, counting down the times till the sunlight shines. And we watch the stars for a twilight. May your mistakes right, got electrified. Now you break out of the moonlight, no need counting times, it's the sunlight shines with you. You leave me in my bed right behind, while I break, you grow, while I hide, you show yourself.
Now, this was impressive, but vocals are one thing. Next, I want to test this microphone in the drum room to see how both modes handle transients, because this is very interesting about FET and transistor. I have it set up in mono, like 3 meters away from the drum set. We will switch between the two circuits again. We will start clean, and then I want to show you how both modes take heavy compression. So, let's see how this sounds. This compression was crazy, right? Last but not least, we have the saxophone. AIM Audio claims this microphone has 140 decibels of headroom, which is actually massive. The sax gets really loud and dynamic, so this is the perfect test to push the circuits to the limit. I absolutely loved how both modes sounded. Let's just listen to it. Alright guys, we heard the tests, so let's talk about if this is actually worth it. Having these two completely different circuits and different sounds in one microphone is actually a really awesome workflow. The build quality from Berlin, I mean it's Berlin, made in Germany, is actually crazy, and that little peak meter in the front that indicates if your source is too loud was extremely helpful when recording myself. But let's be real for a second and talk about the downside. This is a fixed cardioid microphone. That means it has only one polar pattern, cardioid. So if you want to record an Omni or Figure of 8 for some crazy stereo setups or mid-side, you can do this with the Ascens. However, AM Audio does offer a bigger model, and this model is called Inspire, and this also gives you 5 switchable polar patterns, so if you really need that, you can go for this. You will find the link in the description. But if you consider that you're basically getting 2 completely different high-end microphones in one single body, I think this microphone is a real no-brainer. I absolutely loved how this sounded on all the sources. But before we wrap up, I wanted to do the last very special test. The hardest thing to record is actually a really clean, really soft emotional grand piano. When you let the chord ring out and fade to silence, you hear everything, the hammer mechanics, the room, noise, and any background hiss from the microphone itself. So we are actually leaving the studio for a second, because I set up the Ascens with a transformer mode over my 1894 Blüthner grand piano in my living room, just to see how quiet and warm this thing actually gets when it really matters in a normal, untreated room. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. Take care, and I leave you with this final ending. Bye bye.